taking care of business every day, taking care of business every way.
Today I have someone with me that inspires me, and I've known about her and read about her, and she is someone that you have got to meet, and I'm so glad she's here today. And I'm going to say her name is Super T, but I have Teresa Saxton here. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you, Alinda. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for coming. Now, I just introduced you as Super T. What does that mean?
Super T, what it means to me is that it's not me, it's a supernatural me, so it's a supernatural T.
You've been in the community for a long time, but you've got a new venture. And tell us about the new venture. And I'm going to hold it while you talk about it.
Okay, the new venture is my book, Running Things, The Resilient Spirit of an Entrepreneur. And in Running Things, I tell my story as it relates to business. I also go over biblical principles, business principles, and personal stories as well.
Okay. What caused you or inspired you to actually take your experiences and put them into something that will live eternally?
Well, actually, my clients inspired me to write a book. They would always say when I was doing hair services for my clients, you should write a book. You tell so many interesting stories and your life has been so interesting. You should write a book and put it to paper. And then I first wanted to write a book, and then I thought about it. I was like, well, I'm not really a writer. And then the Lord sent a lady into my life who's a ghostwriter by the name of Audrey Trogdon. So she actually helped me put my thoughts together to make it flow in book form.
So there's really no excuse for anyone to say, you know, because you know probably now when you tell people I'm an author and they say, oh, I want to write a book, and they use all these other reasons or excuses or come up with the barriers as to why they shouldn't write a book. But you push past that. Then you talk about your entrepreneurial experiences. Now you are a salon owner of Mimi's Hair and Heaven
and Spa.
Okay. And when did you open that, your shop?
Well, Mimi's, first of all, Mimi's is named after my daughter. Her name was Misha Chanel Saxton. She passed away in 1996 from sickle cell anemia. So I had a salon before that. It was called Our Hair Studio. And the building that we were located in, they sold the building. So we were displaced. We was actually devastated at that time. So for about 3 years, I didn't own my own business. I worked in other people's salons. So when the opportunity came for me to purchase the building that we're in today, that's how Mimi's Hair, Heaven and Spa was born.
So you own the building?
I own the building.
I like that.
All right.
I like that.
So we've been there for 6 years now.
No more displacement?
No.
Okay. And as a result of your daughter's death, you've become an advocate for the sickle cell anemia community.
Correct.
Okay. And what is the name of that?
It's called Kincaid's Kindred Spirits Healthy Living Sickle Cell Anemia Community Outreach and Support Group. So we get together every third Tuesday at the Euclid Library, and we support individuals with sickle cell, a trait with sickle cell anemia, and their families. Because just because you don't have the disease per se doesn't mean that you're not affected by it. So if I have sickle cell anemia and you're my daughter or my sister or my brother, you're affected as well. So our support group supports the whole family.
Okay. In the African community, is it like AIDS where we don't think that it's a major problem and so we don't address it? And so is that why we don't have such an interest or don't hear as much about the sickle cell issues?
Well, to me, when it comes to sickle cell anemia and sickle cell trait, there's no fear factor. Like with AIDS, it could happen to anybody. With cancer, it can happen to anybody. But with sickle cell anemia and sickle cell trait, it's a genetic. So if your parents didn't have it or your grandparents, you can't acquire the disease. So since the fear factor is not there, people are not as in tune to get involved or make some noise about it. I'm very proud of the post office. Last year, 2006, they had a stamp out, a sickle cell stamp, and it was called Test Early for Sickle Cell. So that helped to get a little awareness out there. And now with sickle cell, most people think that it's only affected by African Americans, but it's from people from the Middle East, from Asia. Anybody that's been around where they might have malaria or anything like that could have sickle cell. So it's not a black disease like a lot of people think.
So what is it in you that caused you, because some people would tend to, when faced with what you were faced with, become very despondent, depressed, etc. But you decided to go and do something about it. And I know by you being an owner of the salon and now writing books and being involved in success, what in you caused you to decide to do something about it?
It's ironic that you would say that being despondent and withdrawn and depressed. Been there, done that.
Okay.
I mean, I was depressed for a whole year after my daughter passed away, and me and my ex-husband divorced, and I mean, life just wasn't going as good as I would have liked it to go. But in the midst of the depression, one day I just woke up and was like, that's not me. And in that battle to get back to myself, to being myself, I think taking the focus off of myself was part of the process. So I was like, you know, well, this happened to me. If I can help one somebody that this won't happen to, then I've done something good. If I can help one somebody get up out of the depression, not say, woe, it's me.
Yes.
Like I tell my clients all the time, you can have pity parties, I'm
But
not
don't invite
coming.
me. Yes.
I ain't coming. So no pity parties for me. Been there, done that. So in the process of being depressed, having gone through that, having lost a business, having lost a daughter, having been divorced before I'm 40, so I've been through all of this.
You lived a lot of life
Right,
already.
you know, so a lot of people say, well, you're just an old baby. Either way, I've been through those things already, so I know what I don't want to do. So,
And you also, as I understand, you also are a speaker, and you put time into learning the craft.
yes.
And so people can actually call you for speaking engagements, is that correct?
That's correct. I have a new company called Inspire Me Incorporated, which we published a book under Inspire Me Incorporated, and I do speaking engagements under Inspire Me Incorporated. So I speak at different churches, retreats, community events. I speak for sickle cell, so for our support group, I'm the one that's out there bringing the alarm, telling everybody about what's going on.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned your children, you have children, husband. Tell us about that side of Teresa.
Well, I recently adopted my nephew. He's 12 years old, so as of July of '06, I'm officially a mommy.
Wow.
And doing the mommy thing with a 12-year-old
It's
it's challenging and rewarding, and
need a t-shirt,
all
right?
of those things wrapped up into one. I'm recently engaged, so I'll be getting married in July of '07.
Okay.
Greg and I, we met at church, and he's a wonderful guy, and he supports me, and that's what I really was looking for. Somebody that supported you, didn't smother you, and allowed you to be who you are. So considering that he came to the plate with all of those things and was not a lot of maintenance, I'm like, okay. So when we get married, I'll have 3 children. I adopted my nephew. He has 2 teenage daughters. So it'll be a family of 5 coming together.
Ooh.
And for God to bring a family of 5 together and we all get along and we all respect each other and we all, you know, are looking to support each other, that's definitely something that I think is divine.
Does he cook?
Yes.
Oh, that's really important.
It is, it is.
And so it's in a lot of situations, as you said, what's really important is that he supports you, because that's the reason I asked you the question. With your being an independent person, entrepreneurial spirit, changeable, liking variety, I know because we have the same birthdays, and all of that, and having your hand in a lot of areas, you have to have someone that is not sitting at home expecting you to cause them to be happy, and cause them to be happy, and to waiting for you to come home and waiting for you to do this and waiting for you to do that.
Well, he's just as busy as I am, so that's a wonderful thing. He's a minister, so he's preaching here and I'm speaking there, and then we come together. And like the other day, I said, well, I have a speaking engagement on August the 4th. I'll be speaking at a women's gathering for a church. And he was like, well, we're supposed to go to Atlanta that day. I have a speaking engagement in Atlanta. I said, so when I finish speaking, I'll get on a plane and I'll fly to Atlanta and work it out.
Work it out.
Yeah.
Well, just understand that I am a coach, and when you get to those
I'm open for all the help I can get, all of it.
those life issues, and we even see the blending of families being some. But you sound like you've talked about those issues and you're working that out.